God is telling me that you need to move. Yeah, you need to move. And it's not necessarily move from a house or move from a state, but there is a move that God is wanting you to make. God said, reach out to his people and tell them that it's time. It's time for you to pick up your feet, get your stuff, and move on. You either moving on, you moving up, or you moving out. Which one you're doing? Because he's telling me that you are the one that needs to hear this message. This is right on time for you. It's not too late. It may be too early, but it's not too late. See, whenever you need this message, you can come back and listen to it again. And that way you will be able to, like, what that girl say? What did Tara say? Okay, this is what I'm about to do because this is what God told her I was supposed to do. This move is going to have you transition into a place where you don't know nothing about it. It's almost like Abraham. Abraham had to step out on faith and move into this direction that he knew nothing about. He didn't know whether or not that it was going to have a land flowing with milk and honey. He just knew he had to move out. He didn't know if there was going to be cattle there. He did not know. He didn't know none of the provisions. And you're trying to figure out what is going to be the way that I'm going to be provided for when I move out into this new business, when I move out into this new land, this new place. If I move out and I decide that I'm going to get married, and when I decide that I'm going to make this move, Tara, how am I going to be provided for? See, you got to leave the how up to God. That's the big thing. If God already gave you the go ahead, God gave you the word, and I'm just your confirmation. It ain't like you saying, oh, she told me to move and I'm going to move. No. There's nothing like that. God done told you to move. God done told you to move on. God done told you to move out. God done told you to move up. So you got to take that word back to God, exactly what he told you to do, and you do that thing. So you're going to be like Abraham, not knowing what is going to be the provisions out there, but you trust God. See, Abraham, we know he trusted God because even when it came down to his son, when it was time to sacrifice his son, he was willing to sacrifice his son because he understood that God had provided for him before and God would provide for him again. He understood that if God gave me a promise, God is the promise keeper. So you got to understand that if God is telling you to do something, he's a provider and he's a promise keeper. All you got to do is keep looking at Abraham's story. And I suggest you go and read that story so that as you're moving out, you can move out on the word. As you move out, you can have stability. See, meditating on the word of God is how you're going to know how to move exactly as well too, because meditation causes you to get revelation. And when revelation comes, you get a rhema word, and in your heart, you can stand on that word. When you can stand on the living word, the word with the spirit in it, then you will be able to move out in confidence. See, competence comes from confidence. You're not confident enough. That's because you don't have competence in the area. In order to get competence in the area of God, you got to know his word. You got to spend time in his presence. You got to be fasting and you got to be praying. So I'm going to tell you something that Abraham did do. Abraham messed up, and it's okay if you mess up. Abraham brought his cousin Lot with him. And if you got somebody that's tagging along with you that ain't supposed to be along with you, you're going to need to cut them off, but you might have to go rescue him if you bring him with you, because Lot had to be rescued because he done got into some trouble. Their land was doing things that they had no business doing. So you got to watch who you're bringing with you, because if God didn't call them in this season to go with you, they may be a lot in your life. Okay. It's not that they're a bad person. It's just that they have some stuff that's going to come along with them, some baggage. They had to split the land. Lot chose the better land. It's a lot of things that come with bringing along people that are not supposed to be with you. So you need to write that down in your notebook. I'm not bringing along nobody that don't supposed to go. God is going to provide for me because God is a provisionary. God is Jehovah Jireh, your provider. You got to understand that. You got to understand that you also had to have the prophetic word that came with it. Did God speak to you? Who did he speak through to you to give you confirmation? Did you find it in the word of God to confirm what they are saying is in the word of God? Do your due diligence as you move. Don't just move just because you heard a word that you should move. I'm a prophet. I'm actually an apostle, but I prophesy. But I understand that these words that are given to me, they're going to be confirmation. And then if it's not confirmed to me right now, I can put it to the side, because some words are for down the road. So is this word for you now, or is it for down the road? You are going to know that because you're going to watch how things are moving in your life. You're going to know that because God has spoken to you a certain kind of way. Things are lined up. And as those things are lining up, do not get in fear to move out in it. You already been in seasons where things didn't work out. Now it's time for them to work out. You can't go no further down. You can only go up. I'm speaking that you're going up in this season. You're going out in this season. You're going in this season. This is the season where you obey God and you move like Abraham moved. You're going to have to put faith in your heart, faith in your spirit, Faith worketh by love. So if you have unforgiveness in your heart, let's get that unforgiveness out of your heart so that your faith can work with you and walk with you. You know why I know how all this works? Is because I've been there and I've done it. I've had to move out of a state. I've had to move out of a business. I had to move on from relationships. I've had to do these same things, but I heard God tell me to do it. And I'm going to tell y'all, I messed up. I messed up. I would prolong it and wouldn't move when God told me to move. And guess what? I had to endure the consequences that came with it because it got messy. It got messy because I did not obey the word when the word was given to me. And so when the word was given to me with the relationship stuff, it caused me to be homeless because I decided to run and to leave and didn't care what I left behind. When it came to the business, friendships got messed up because of how it was done, and it looked like it was bad, but it was Satan all messing up in every single one of these situations. And when I had to move to another state, I moved when God told me to move. I had a house in one state, and God said, I want you to pack your stuff and I want you to go. Do you understand? When I left, when he told me to leave, that it was a miracle that happened for me, because you know what happened in 2021, I think it was 2120, that sickness that was going around. I moved right then and there. And the place that I moved to, I didn't have to pay any bills. Oh, God was so good in that season. And I was able to grow my business and, grow my influence, be able to do the things that I desired to do in that season. So when you move, when God tells you to move, then you'll be able to operate in the blessings that come with moving in obedience, moving when God tells you to move. And I don't know who this is for, but I'm hoping that this helps you. And I'm hoping that you got some type of nugget, something out of it that you can use as you go on this journey with God, this journey like Abraham went. And it's not just Abraham that went through it, but that's who he gave me, Abraham, for you. And you'll understand why, because you already know it's a confirmation to you. And like I said, if it's not a confirmation for you right now, it's going to be a confirmation down the road, because don't no words fall to the ground. None. Okay? Have a great day and use this for your life. No, use this word accordingly to what it is that God has spoken to you.